So this time we'll be looking at Amazo, the android with all the powers of the Justice League. This is really one of the figures that I was least impressed upon when seeing him in pictures. However, each wave there's that one character that you just kind of think, he's not too important, but he's just a really good figure. And for me, this is the figure in this wave that exemplifies that. Just a great sculpt, I think. It could be the paint job, the two-toned green stripes. I don't know. Now it's not perfect. There are some scratches and paint gobs on the figure. You see in the back here, you can kind of see there's green marks on his back. There's a little bit of green mark on the elbow here. I think that's from being in the package and having it pushed up close against his elbow. I really like this skull cap slash hair. It's a nice metallic reddish orange type color. I think that's what really makes the figure pop. And there's a great face sculpt with nicely painted eyes, and so this is great. One other detail that I like to mention is that he's got a it's not a Green Lantern ring, but a copy Green Lantern power ring. Neat that they went through that extra step. There seems to be more of a gap between the arm and the chest at the shoulder for this figure for some reason. So let's get into his articulation, because he has no accessories, which is alright. I just want to mention that his back still has the plug in there. It's kind of unfortunate, but they learned from their mistake, and later figures had that solid onto articulation. Nice ball joint, again, cut so that you don't get very much interference or hindrance from the back of the skull. Arms go around, rotate at go in and out, rotate at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate at the wrist. He's got ab articulation, waist articulation, legs forward and back, in and out, rotate at the thigh, bend at the knee, bend at the ankle. Now, into the history of Amazo. Amazo was an android built by Professor Ivo, who wanted the android to steal the Justice League's powers, the original Justice League from the early 60s. And he was going to use the absorption of all these powers to discover the secret of immortality, because that's his bag. Basically, you get, whenever Amazo appears, it's a newer version of the original android. Sometimes he's working his own agenda, sometimes he's just being a pawn of somebody else, be it Lex Luthor or Professor Ivo again, or somebody else. but the one thing that remains the same is that all the subsequent versions of Amazo have the the same base powers of the original Justice League. I believe the last time we saw Amazo in the comics, he tried to take over the Red Tornado's android body by downloading his program into him. And Amazo has kind of appeared on the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. I say kind of because it's not quite. The android that Professor Ivo creates is never referred to as Amazo, except as an acronym on the plans that John Stewart looks at. And it's A period, M period, A period, Z period, O period, and that's the only reference to the original Amazo. And the character looks nothing like him being just plain silver or plain gold. But he does manifest a power ring on his hand, as well as Hawkgirl's wings on his back. So he is definitely influenced by the original Amazo. And I guess that's about it for Amazo. So stay tuned for my next review, which will be on Black Lightning.